Welcome to a new world of entertainment. The Ultimate Film and Television Podcast. Featuring Mike Winkler, Alistair Englehart, Daniel English, Jeremy Larson, and Jason Kabasi. Created by friends. All film lovers. We feature in-depth discussions and celebrity interviews. This podcast is available on all major platforms. Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Action Entertainment Reviews Podcast. On this episode, the best movies, the biggest surprises, the gems of cinema. Touch me now, don't. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I don't know what just happened there. What was that? What just happened? What a hell of a way to open the show. I don't know what happened there.
What a way. What a hell of a
It was so perfect up until that last second.
You know, that's a hell of a way to open the show. So, welcome in, everybody, to the Lights, Camera, Action Entertainment Reviews Podcast, or maybe it's something else. I'm not entirely sure. But, wow. Yeah. That was fun.
All right.
When's your hit single coming out, Mike?
I don't know. I'd like to know how that guy even got in there. So you probably won't hear that in the audio feed tomorrow, but you'll hear that if you saw it live. So
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Right,
that was great.
Oh,
By the way,
everybody.
Jeremy, I loved your man beard in the in your picture.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
all right, I will do this intro over again. Welcome, everybody, to the Lights, Camera, Action Entertainment Reviews Podcast. We have another special episode for you tonight. As we did the worst of a couple weeks ago, now we're back to the best of, and Alistair Englehart is now here to join us this time around. And we're also here with Jace Kabasic and Jeremy Larson. Hi, gentlemen.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Glad to be here.
Yeah, the best of.
You singing.
Oh, yes.
I think everything I prepared to talk about
Mhm.
coming into this podcast has now been usurped by the absolute need to talk about what we just heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
He put that in there on purpose. It was
And
perfect.
you know what? I wish I could honestly say that I did, because I think it actually worked somehow. But yeah. So guys, how did you guys respond to these categories? Was it really difficult for all of you?
It wasn't as difficult as I thought.
It was only difficult for me because I was straying away from our recently discussed topics. Like you guys had already discussed Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Star Trek, and Marvel.
Right.
So I have none of any of those movies on my
I have
categories.
none of those in my
because
categories either.
I didn't feel like it was fair to other other fandoms out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
I did reference Lord of the Rings once.
Yeah, that's
I completely strayed away from a lot of what I normally watch. These are literally like my picks or what I would personally go to in each of these categories every time.
Mhm. No, yeah, completely agree. But yeah, it was difficult. I found some categories a little easier than others, but some were really complicated because I felt like I really had to dig deep.
Mhm.
The one that tripped me up was which movie that I felt like was worth more praise than it got, because I tend to do a very bad job of keeping up with the general response to movies.
Mhm.
So I wasn't too sure on that one.
All right,
Fair enough.
so
First category.
who wants to kick this off with recent surprise?
I have a controversial one that I think. I think that I know what the rest of the three of you think about this movie, but the recent surprise for me, based on all of the negative reviews that it received, was Wonder Woman 1984.
I was waiting for it.
I knew it.
I was waiting for it. We got the Mickey moment.
I really enjoyed the movie. I loved Pedro Pascal. I thought he was a really interesting villain. There were some cheesy spots that I did not, where I did not enjoy. I didn't enjoy.
Was it as cheesy as Mike singing?
Not quite there, but overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I liked the place that the movie headed when everybody had their deepest desire. I liked how it portrayed the potential for mass chaos to ensue from that, when people weren't by default considering the needs of others around them when they made their wish. And
I think that I'm sorry to interrupt you with
go
that,
ahead,
Alistair. When it started getting towards the end of the movie, I didn't even think that it stemmed from people's deepest desires, and that's what confused me. Is that wishes started to become even more and more minuscule as the movie went on. Like, it went to, like, you know what, I would just wish you would have a heart attack, and then suddenly someone has a heart attack. Like, that's not someone's deepest desire for you know, the person next to them to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I agree, Jeremy. A lot of aspects of Wonder Woman 1984 I wanted to be really good, and I'm not gonna lie, there are certain things that I do like that I can take from it that I really liked. It's just that some of the problems that I have with it outweigh the good, unfortunately, and I'm sitting there comparing it to Wonder Woman, the first one, too much, and it just, to me, it just doesn't compare.
I really don't have anything else to add to that. Like, you guys, you and Jeremy both said a lot of the same exact points that I had about it. So
I'm so sorry, Alistair. I didn't mean to tear into your recent surprise movie.
That's okay.
That's all right.
All right. So, how about you, Jeremy?
I going a completely different direction. I think Soul by Pixar was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, Pixar seems to blow me away every time they come out with a new movie, and Soul captured so many big emotional moments for pretty much anybody in that one. And it was also I felt like it was great that it was jazz themed as well.
Okay. I haven't even heard anything about this, so I might have to go give this a look.
Like, this is what was it? The last one that came out from Pixar was Inside Out.
Yeah.
And that one was, I honestly didn't think that you could get much more
profound
deep than emotions having emotions.
Yeah.
But this just, it brings it into a whole new light. It doesn't even deal with, like, I can't even spoil the movie for you. I can't. Yeah. It's that good. I couldn't spoil it.
So I got a question for you then, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Alistair.
No, go ahead.
Since we're doing that, I want to ask you to compare then. Which one do you think is better than Inside Out or Soul?
I prefer Soul to Inside Out.
Really?
Yes.
I'm really going to have to give this a look then.
Yeah. It's like...
Yeah, it was. I liked it too. I felt like it was a perfect movie for my wife and I. We sat down to watch it without our kids. I think it would be. I could see our toddlers getting bored with it, just because I think it's a bit more mature of a film than Inside Out was.
It is.
But she and I, my wife and I, really enjoyed watching it and talking about it afterwards.
I think Pixar is a appealing film to young eyes, but the thoughts and emotions that provoke from it is very adult in nature, very mature.
I'm excited to see what they do with Raya, the Last Dragon.
And on that note, Mike, what about you for recent surprise?
Okay, there was 3 that I was really flirting with here, and I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really good. And I think 2 of them are really One of them was actually Escape Room. I actually really liked Escape Room. I thought it was surprisingly good.
Oh, the one that me and you went to go see in theaters?
No, are you thinking of Ready or Not? That one where the girl's running through the house trying to hide from the family?
No, me and you went to go see Escape Room as well.
We did. That's right, we did, yes. That movie was a big surprise because it looked like your typical PG-13 fare, that it was just going to be your typical, oh, we're going to run through a house, we're going to try to escape traps, and that's it. But the movie actually had layers of good character development. It had very creative traps, and it set up a perfectly good, possibly entertaining sequel.
If they decide to get to it, because my issue with that is...
They made it. It's made.
Oh, they did. Cool.
Yeah, it comes out this year.
Don't take the Saw route and go heavy on the traps because it took away from the character development. As we're going to discuss later on, surprise, surprise, we got Saw 3 and 4 retrospective coming out here next couple of days, people. But no, but like we were talking about, after the first couple of movies, they started going less and less into the character development and the story and more into, oh boy, let's see what kind of creative traps we can make more blood and guts come out.
Yeah. No, you're right. The movie didn't feel the need to bloody things up. It felt like, how can we make these traps in these rooms creative without saying, oh, how can we blow somebody's head off and create a bunch of blood splatter?
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, and I got to agree with you there, Kendall. Pixar really is still catering to our generation, even though we're all grown up and all that.
Pixar is maturing with the group that it started with, which is great. The only one I want to mention, just notable mention, was 5 Feet Apart. Nobody knows what that is.
No.
Okay, 5 Feet Apart was that movie about the boy and the girl that were stuck with, I forget, with cystic fibrosis, I think is what it was.
Okay.
Where they can't be, I think that's what it is. They can't be more than 6 feet or 5 feet apart from each other. And they're all in this facility together, and she starts falling for him, but she can't get close enough to him. But instead of it being a story about, two people falling in love like a typical Nicholas Sparks novel, it focuses on the sickness and how we all take the closeness for granted and they can't have what we usually have. And that's why with what's going on in the world today, all of a sudden that appreciation in that movie actually speaks volumes now, because we've had to all basically do that.
I think I'm going to put that down for a movie that I should see. That's actually
I'm going to have to take a look at that as well.
I feel really bad because I can't stand the Fault in Our Stars. I can't. And this actually sounds much it sounds like that movie, but better.
So
it's done a lot better.
Yeah. So for me, recent surprise I had was actually a Netflix original. One Night in Miami.
One Night in Miami. Who was that with?
That one was with it starred Kingsley Ben-Adir, Eli Gorey, Aldous Hodge, and Leslie Odom Jr. With Lance Reddick, Joaquina Calacongo, Nicolette Robinson, and Beau Bridges in supporting roles.
Was that the movie about
it was the movie that was the fictionalized meeting between Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw that advertised.
The thing that really surprised me about it the most was, even though you knew that it was like a fictionalized meeting between these guys, it still felt so real, because it was done to celebrate the surprise win that Ali had over Sonny Liston.
Also, that is a Amazon Prime original film.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't heard of it.
Okay. Oh yeah, it is an Amazon. My bad.
That's okay. There's so many streaming platforms.
There is.
Yeah, there is.
We got our first controversial comment.
Uh-oh.
Hey, everyone has their own opinion.
That's true.
Some people like it, some didn't. Like I said, this is one of my surprises.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Hey, Hey, what's a show like this without some controversy? We already had Wonder
Right.
Woman, so that makes sense.
Yes.
But okay, well, the next category: movies that stood the test of time.
And there is a plethora of movies to choose from for this. So I will start this one off. The Breakfast Club.
Ah, that's a good pick.
You know, that's been on my list for a while. I've never gotten to see it, but I've heard it's good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
I can always find myself watching that movie and thinking to myself, even as, we're all older and all that, if we were back in those high school days and, we had that mindset, would we do the same exact things that those kids in the Breakfast Club would have done if they were in that all-day detention?
I could see it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, the 80s films are just kind of special, and it kind of almost makes me wish that I would have been a teenager in the 80s, because I saw this video actually on TikTok where it was all the things the 80s was known for: the malls, hanging out in a bunch of different places, the clothes, the movies, and it really made me think,
the things you
that was a
don't
special time.
see anymore nowadays in this generation.
Yep.
Because everyone is so glued to their phone. Everyone is so used to, doing everything all online nowadays that you don't have these moments anymore.
No, and they don't make movies like that anymore, which is unfortunate, because John Hughes, rest his soul. I mean, he wrote hit after hit after hit. A lot of people don't even know that he actually wrote Home Alone, and he was just special. I can't really think of one bad movie that he was a part of.
Yeah.
Huh.
So who's next?
You haven't lived then, Kendall.
So my stood the test of time film was actually originally a 1963 film, remade 30 years later in 1993, that I hope we're all familiar with, about 3 special little animals that went all across the country to get back to their owners. Homeward Bound.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Bound.
That's going way back.
Cut. That's a good childhood movie right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I think I think the story has stood the test of time. But as I watched it recently, and I think part of the reason it's not cheesy, graphics wise, is because they don't try to CGI it either. They just do the voices over the animals like they did Wishbone. So even the effects aren't too bad in terms of just in terms of watching it nowadays. So, but yeah, great story. My pastor just referenced that in his sermon 2 weeks ago.
That's
Got me
actually a pretty
thinking
good
about
movie. I don't think I've seen that movie probably in about 20 years. So it may be
I
worth a
think the
rewatch.
last time I watched Homeward Bound was probably like 5 or 6 years ago. Was the last time I remember watching it.
Yeah, I need to.
I actually just watched it a month ago, and
Did you?
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Wait, that's part of the fun of having kids is like rewatching
Watching
it with
your
them
old
while they
movies,
watch it
yep.
for the first time. Yeah,
Oh man.
They made 2 of those, right?
yeah. Actually,
Yeah, they
I think
did.
eventually made 3, but they were decreasing in quality with each
They made
one.
3.
Yeah.
What was
It's
the
just
third one
like-
about?
I actually
Mike,
haven't
it's
seen the
just
second one.
it's just like Air Bud. You never realized they made sequels and they were all just
God.
bad.
Yeah, Air Bud 1 was the only good one. Yeah.
Homeward Bound 3, A River Runs Through It.
When was that even made?
Homeward.
Was that one of those
Oh,
direct to
wait,
video
no. That was never mind. That was a fan one. Homeward Bound 3, The Road Trip.
Oh gosh.
Somebody made a fan one?
I'm seeing 2022 for the next sequel.
I see a Homeward Bound. There's a YouTube video, Homeward Bound 3 Bloodlust, and I'm like, wait,
Wait a minute.
when did they switch?
Wait a minute. Somebody made a fan film Homeward Bound movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
A River Runs Through It. I'm sure it's not a full length feature.
Yikes.
I would certainly
Oh,
hope not.
wow.
Oh no.
Props to whoever thought of that one.
All right.
Well, we
so
can
got-
only hope that someone will pick up the line someday and keep it going.
All right, so we got Alistair's pick for a movie
Fair
that
enough.
stood the test of time. Mike, it's on you.
I'm gonna keep things in the 80s. I'm gonna do 2: Back to the Future and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was having so many hard choices trying to. This was the one topic I really had a lot of trouble with
Mhm.
because you had movies like Citizen Kane, Casablanca,
Yeah.
all pretty much any 80s movie.
Yeah. Princess Bride.
No, see, like Back to the Future, it feels like the 80s, but the effects still hold up well. The story holds up well. It doesn't feel dated at all. It really holds up well. And Ferris Bueller, the 80s stuff is what makes the movie work. But again, Ferris Bueller does not feel dated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's the John Hughes magic. And then, of course, with Back to the Future, it's the Spielberg Zemeckis magic. So I'm not surprised.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so Jeremy.
I went with an action flick. I decided to go Die Hard.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fastest film ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Willis would disagree with you, Jason. He said it's not a Christmas movie, so you and him would have a powwow.
That's fine. We'd have a powwow.
Like I could just keep going back and watching that like every year. I could.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's just that good of a movie. There's enough comedy in it to make it not seem too serious. And Alan Rickman as the antagonist is so perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and thing of it is too, Die Hard is so special that how many movies have we seen try to duplicate the exact same thing?
And nothing comes close.
No,
Nope.
no, not even close. Okay, well, next category. Sequel that was better than the original.
I'll take the first one
ahead.
if you don't mind.
Don't steal it, Jeremy.
Terminator 2.
Oh, he didn't steal it. Yes, well that's definitely
no question about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
The first one was extremely horror based. It was supposed to be a sci-fi horror, and I'm
It's a
glad.
chase film.
And I'm
Amazing
glad
looking
that
back.
the second film went the route it did because it felt so much better. It flowed nicer too.
Mhm.
Yep.
And just like Die Hard, it has all the movie elements that you want in there from an action film.
Uh-huh.
There's no question T2 is miles and miles better than T1. It's not even a competition. To be honest with you, you could almost ignore 1 completely and just watch 2 and you're in it. It doesn't one's not even necessarily to watch.
I still wouldn't though. I'd still watch T1 first and then T2.
I would too. I would too because Terminator 1 is still
But no, I got to
classic in its
agree
own right.
that T2 was definitely miles better.
Hands down.
So you looked like you were getting ready to mention yours before Jeremy put up his finger. It's like, no, I got this.
Okay.
So go ahead, Mike.
I'm going to do one mild mention because we already talked about it on a previous podcast. Star Trek Into Darkness. Much better than the Star Trek. I don't want to say much better because the first one was great, but it was still better than the first one. But I'm going to go with Mission Impossible 3. Because I'm not saying MI3 is necessarily miles better than Mission Impossible 1, but it's miles better than Mission Impossible 2. I just like the fact that J.J. Abrams stepped in to direct after he did Alias. I like the camera work here. I like the story that Ethan Hunt has a fiance in the mix here, and he has a lot to lose. Philip Seymour Hoffman is by far the best villain in the Mission Impossible saga so far. No question about it. Everything in this movie just works.
God, I miss Philip Seymour Hoffman. He played a great bad guy.
His final movie was the last Hunger Games, I think.
Yeah. All right, Alistair. What's
So honorable mention, I'm actually going to go along with Mike's pick as well. Wrath of Khan. That was much better than the original movie. But
miles and miles and miles. More than T2.
We had a nice little discussion about that in the previous podcast.
But the one I really thought of first is actually better than all of its predecessors, and it's Logan. With Wolverine. Yep.
That one I forget what category I put it on for the worst of series, but I think it was the
movie you once hated, now you love.
Yeah.
I still need to see that movie.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Logan yet?
I
It's
haven't.
just Wolverine as he should
Wow.
have been from the start.
Yeah, you
The
know,
old man Logan.
you know what's sad is that Logan is so good, but when you compare it to the other two Wolverines before it, it doesn't have a very high bar.
Mm.
Although
Sure.
the one that takes place in Japan is good in a way because it still follows the source material, whereas in X-Men Origins, it just kind of went off on its own little journey that just didn't come together, especially since they botched Deadpool in that movie.
Right.
Mhm.
Which is why I'm so glad that Ryan Reynolds is like, no, we're gonna do Deadpool and we're gonna do it
We're gonna do
justice.
it right.
Yep, absolutely. And he did. Miles and miles ahead of what that crap fest did.
So going along the lines of you, Mike, again, honorable mention. Only it wasn't Star Trek. My honorable mention went to T2.
Okay. Yep.
I picked The Dark Knight.
Yes.
I mean, I can understand that. I'm more partial to Batman Begins, but I get it. I get it.
I almost had that one for a few different categories for the sole purpose of the acting by the acting in this movie was just amazing.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question.
It felt real.
Yeah.
Like everything about Dark Knight
Heath
felt real.
Ledger, I had the biggest questions about Heath Ledger playing the Joker and would he possibly ever do that character justice.
We all did.
And not only did he by far exceed that expectation, he was probably one of the reasons why I love this movie so much.
Yeah, he makes the movie memorable. I mean, if you go back and you think of The Dark Knight, you immediately think Heath Ledger's Joker. That's the first thing you'll think of out of the gate. No question about it.
So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought that the original Batman movie in this trilogy was really good. Christopher Nolan did a great job with this trilogy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, he
But-
really set the bar for comic book movies.
But when you bring in a movie that, like The Dark Knight, and you look at the first film, you're trying to look and wonder to yourself, did I really think that the first movie was actually good compared to this? Because it was this was miles and miles better, and the first one was already good as it was.
You think
But-
Dark Knight was miles better than Batman
Oh,
Begins?
this was my 10 in that trilogy.
Well, I mean, I can understand that, but I can understand it being better, but miles and miles better?
It
I mean,
legit
this-
was the acting in that movie just felt so much better to me.
We can also say that these ratings are subjective. Everyone has their own tastes and their own
Right.
viewpoints on these things. As much as we can just say, hey, you know, Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't miles and miles and miles above its predecessor.
I'm
Because
still,
it
I'm
wasn't.
still working
But-
you guys.
But it's still the fact that we all have differing opinions. It's
Some
we
are more-
may not be able to swallow it, but
No. Unfortunately, I don't
It's
think we're going to swallow that
sticky.
one. It's close. It's close to it. It's sticky. It's not quite
Mhm.
there yet. I'm still waiting for the Alistair moment.
mhm.
Kendall says,
I think
was dark,
I think it's
raw,
going to come with
and
guilty pleasure.
relatable. I think she's talking about Dark Knight. It was dark, raw,
Yes.
and relatable.
Yeah.
That's very true. That is so
Right.
true.
Hmm.
And that's why I think the Dark Knight, even though I love Batman Begins better, or I like it better, the Dark Knight set the bar for comic book movies because it did something that no comic book movie had ever done before it.
Mhm.
And I think Dark Knight is the reason why Marvel got better and matured because it saw the bar that it had to hit, and it has hit it.
Yes.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
the Dark Knight's responsible for it. A DC movie, ladies and gentlemen, is responsible for Marvel's probably some of its success.
And now look at DC. They didn't even realize their own rules that they were saying.
Yeah.
Well, when you got to also keep in mind the fact that this is going off the Dark Horse series of Batman, not really necessarily so much DC.
Year one, based on the year one comics of Batman.
Yeah, and so I think that also helped add on to why the Dark Knight trilogy was as good as it was.
Yeah, it did something special that hadn't been done. Okay, so next category: exceeded expectations.
I don't want to go first, but I feel like I have to because this is one of the hardest ones for me.
Okay.
Especially in the collection of movies that I currently own. The Ugly Truth.
Oh, with Heigl and Gerard Butler.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I went into that movie expecting, everybody in the theater to be extremely opinionated about it.
Sure.
But I think this movie was kind of a precursor to PC culture.
Oh yeah, because today it wouldn't get made.
It wouldn't. No one would make this. No one would release it. It is the bravest that a rom-com has ever done.
Yep.
And it was a glorified comedy. Like, to me, I think
hilarious.
It's fantastic. It's hilarious. The chemistry between Gerard Butler and Heigl it's really good.
Yeah, very, very good.
I'm very saddened to see that it has a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Hey, what do the critics know? I mean,
Right. It's all subjective, right?
Go watch another foreign film. Go watch another foreign film. You're not wanted here.
All right, so I'll pick up the baton that Jeremy passed off here. I went with Casino Royale.
Oh yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
After the previous three James Bond films, I was so nervous that they were just going to completely kill this franchise when they came out. And Daniel Craig just proved to me that he can really do a James Bond justice.
Oh God, yeah.
He is a great Bond.
I can agree because when I came into that movie, I was so
to me, it felt like this movie brought it back to the heydays of Sean Connery as James Bond.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was latched on to Pierce Brosnan coming into this because I thought, oh, no one's going to come in and replace him because that's the Bond that I was used to and grew up with. But man, I saw this movie and he knocked it out of the park, and it actually now is my favorite Bond movie. I just love it. It's one I can rewatch very easily.
All right, so I'm passing this baton to Alistair.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I was not sure what to expect because it was it was the first Marvel cartoon film that I had seen in theaters. And I knew DC had actually done pretty well with their cartoon films. That they actually did better with their cartoon movies than their live-action movies. But I was not sure what to expect going into Spider-Verse, and I wasn't sure that I would like it as much as their live-action content. But I ended up really enjoying it.
I know one DC cartoon film you're talking about. I want to say it was The Killing Joke.
Huh. I don't think I've seen that one.
No, I
haven't seen that one.
No,
I do want to become more versed with DC's cartoon films because I've heard very good things, but
they are very good.
They did it very well.
But yeah, no, I was blown away. I loved Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm hopeful that they continue pumping out those kind of films as well because I think they did it very well. It's different, definitely different than the other MCU films, but really, really cool.
Kendall had anxiety, but she loved it.
Well, it was a very fast-paced movie, and it was different. It was extremely different from any Spider-Man that you saw in film or TV. But it was a masterpiece of a comic book film.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that you're right. Not only did it exceed expectations, it was just kind of like one of those movies like, wow, not only did it exceed my expectations, but it took me out of my seat. It blew me out of my seat because it just ended up being something memorable. And it's like, okay, now we have to see a live action version of this, which I think we're going to get.
To be fair, we finally got our first real taste of Miles Morales as Spider-Man in this, which I thought was great.
Yeah. I can see the Tom Holland movies going that route. Maybe eventually, if they want to move Tom Holland out of the role, maybe they can have Miles Morales take it over. I could see
Then
that.
here's a question for you: who do you have take over the role? Then
I don't know. I mean, we're talking maybe 10 years from now.
More importantly,
we
who will
still
be
got-
Spider Pig?
Oh, jeez.
Thing is, I think even so, I think Spider Pig is still going to remain an animated character. You're not going to be able to get past
Like
that.
Space Jam.
That one needs to stay
yeah.
in the cartoon verse.
And
Yeah.
and that's the tough thing about it.
Mhm.
The Mr. Game and Watch of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's always been difficult for movies to take an animated character and to put it into a real life situation. Like
Yeah.
we're seeing it in all different types of things. You got the Smurfs, you got the Muppets, you got all the different cartoony characters, starting with Space Jam and before.
Yeah.
say speaking of the Smurfs and being live action and all, taking a cartoon and bringing it to live action. That's what my roommate's kid had on this when I woke up today.
Mm-hmm.
That the one with
was
Neil
my
Patrick
first-
Harris.
Yeah, it was what I woke up to. I went downstairs. I see that's on the TV. I proceeded to walk right back upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how a studio realizes that was a big mistake? You want to know how?
Oh,
When they make the sequel and it's all animated.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
yeah, I
Smurfs
can
2 is
believe
all
it.
animated. Yep. That's how you know they realized, we really screwed up on that.
Mhm.
So, Mike,
Except with Chronicles of Riddick.
Well, yeah, that's a different story, but yeah.
all right, Mike.
For me, I'm gonna do a twofer. The newest Bad Boys for Life, and The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Greatest Showman, Mike.
As far as Bad Boys, I didn't have any expectations at all going into 3 because it was so long since 2. I think it was like 17 years, I think. And usually when sequels take
Was
that
it
long
really
to make,
that long? No, it couldn't have been 17
2002 was Bad Boys 2.
years.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, it is. He's
Yeah,
right.
the first one
Oh,
came out in
2003.
95.
2003.
Yeah, but still. I mean, usually sequels, as we know it, take that long to make. They really never work. It's just too little, too late. But they did a good job of maturing the characters. Marcus focusing more on family. Mike realizing that he wants to be the cool guy for the rest of his life, but he realizes age is catching up, and that Marcus wants to retire. And they just handled a lot of the storylines really well, giving Mike a son. How they resolve that storyline at the end is really interesting. It just works so well, and I think
I haven't seen Bad Boys for Life. I might have to dive into that.
Michael Bay does not direct this one, and I think it's a benefit because they
Well,
focused
yeah,
on the
Michael
story.
Bay is all about
Mhm.
explosions, so.
Right. It's more of a story-driven movie. The action's still done in the Michael Bay fashion, but it doesn't focus on the action to work.
Hey, I want to retire.
Exactly. And then Greatest Showman, of course, that movie just blew me away because I'm not usually the biggest musical fan. There's musicals I do like. But I came out of this movie and I was like, wow, the music was great. The costumes were great. The time period was great. And I'm not usually a big Zac Efron fan, but even he was good in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Just everything about that movie works. And it's a movie that I can watch a lot because the music's just so memorable and sticks
It's
in your head.
catchy. It's very catchy.
Exactly.
Okay, not a bad choice there.
All right, next category. Movie that you go back to.
So, Mike, you were doing musicals, and my pick for this one was a musical as well. Let's see if anybody recognizes it. The hills are alive. No?
The Sound of Music.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
The Sound of Music. I can go back to that movie
Okay.
again and again.
And,
Julie Andrews and Angel. Love her
I will
voice.
have to say, just the timing of Christopher Plummer's
Yeah,
passing away
yeah,
this last
right.
week.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was still alive until I saw those articles come out.
Right.
Yeah. But
I
it's
think
funny
Christopher-
because I've seen him in other movies and I didn't make the
Mhm.
connection with
Mhm.
his role in that film. But yeah,
Right.
So
One of Christopher Plummer's last movies was Knives Out,
Yeah. Yep.
where his character died.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he's
Ah.
a fantastic actor. He was really good
Yeah.
in that part too, in
Mhm.
Sound of Music.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because we just watched the Sound of Music this last.
There you
last
go.
2 weeks ago. They're all
You
coming back.
can always go back to it.
Jason and Alice are on the same page. First, it was Homeward Bound that you watched a month ago, and now it's Sound of Music. You guys are on the same wavelength.
Must be.
Uh huh.
You see, I'm going to correct you there, Mike. You said Jason and Alistair, not Jeremy.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry,
Alistair.
Jeremy and Alistair. It's like I did last episode when I called Jeremy Dan.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
That
did.
felt odd. That felt weird.
Yeah, so I'll go next. Movie that I usually go back to is actually Will Smith's Hitch.
Mm,
I like
Okay.
Hitch quite a bit. I like the humor. I like
Yeah.
Kevin James a lot. I think Will Smith and him have good comedic chemistry with one another. And I don't know. It just I like the relationship quirkiness and how Hitch is just so perfect with making everybody else good with women and being able to get them to go on the date and fall in love with them. But he himself, he can't quite get it right. And I just think it's really, really cool to see somebody who thinks they know the female psyche so well when really he has no clue.
sure.
I guess I will take the next one here. I'm not going to dive really into why this is what the movie that I can always go back to, because I want you guys to experience it for yourself.
Smurfs.
No. Spirited Away.
Huh. Anime. Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in years. Honestly, I need to watch it again to
I
refresh
just
myself in
watched
the
it
story.
again about 2 weeks ago. I can always go back to that and just feel that sense of amazement every time.
Which platform is it on for free? I feel like I've seen it on Hulu or
HBO Max.
is it HBO Max? Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do need to watch that one again, Jason. Glad you brought it up.
I've never actually seen Spirited Away.
So it's the highest grossing Japanese film, if I'm not mistaken, and for a good reason. I think you guys would really enjoy the movie if you gave it a watch. Studio Ghibli is the company that took care of the film. So if you had to pick one movie from that company to watch, it would be Spirited Away, I would have to say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
And,
Okay, Al.
No, I thought Al went first
Yeah,
in
it's
this
Jeremy.
category.
You go first? Okay, it's you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Movie that I can always go back to is already been mentioned. It's Back to the Future.
Yep.
I like it.
Back to the Future was
It's a good pun.
definitely it's so much fun to watch that movie. The antics of Christopher Lloyd combined with the panicky stature of Michael J. Fox throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun. I can't stop watching that movie.
When this baby goes 88 miles an hour, you're gonna
Shit,
see some shit.
Have you all seen the deep fake with Holland and Downey Jr.?
Oh
in
yeah.
that film?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, it's weird.
It's scary
Check
how
it
much
out.
it works. It
Check
just
it out.
works.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
If
Oh,
they
that's
did
fun.
remake it, which I hope they never do, that would probably be your ideal people right there because they look like they fit.
Mhm,
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
All right. So next category we have here is movie you can always play on repeat.
well, this is easy for me. Let me just get it out of the way. It's movies we've talked about, and I got to list it for this because there's nothing else I could pick. Any Star Wars or Star Trek film I could put on repeat, no problem.
Yep.
I'm just gonna leave that there.
So
Somebody else go.
are we talking about the the Rise of Skywalker, Mike?
It's Star Wars, isn't it? It's got
We'll
Star
see.
Wars in the
We'll
title.
see.
Any Star Wars film.
We will see what your opinion on that is after a 24-hour marathon of it. Go.
What? I don't have a problem with Rise of Skywalker. I have more of a problem with Last Jedi, but even that doesn't bother me that much.
As long as you watch it to enjoy it
Yeah.
and not
Exactly.
overanalyze the whole thing.
Sure.
Yep, that's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Take it for what it is.
let me add that I'm not going to include Star Trek: The Motion Picture in there because no.
But
No.
Mike, that's part of any Star Wars or Star Trek movie.
Okay, I'm going to say any Star Wars
Feature.
film and minus one Star Trek film.
just have V'ger on repeat for like 24 hours.
So bad. Be so
Ladies and
bad.
gentlemen, your next Star Trek movie is about V'ger.
Feature. Oh my god.
Could you
I'm not seeing
imagine
it.
if the next Star Trek movie brought that
No.
back to try and rekindle that?
I'm not seeing
idea?
it. I'm waiting for Star Trek Discovery to somehow do a storyline on V'ger.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
How
Oh, no.
how
I'm
it's
waiting for it.
evolved even further
How it's
after
resurfaced in the
after
future.
its union with
Oh, yeah.
humanity.
If they
No.
do, I will find any link I can to videos of it, and send it to you on any and all platforms.
No.
You're streaming on Twitch,
No.
sending that link to you.
I would hope they are smart enough to never touch V'ger or bring it up ever again.
Oh,
Ever.
What about you, Jason?
Movie that I can put on repeat, huh? I had a little bit of a tough time with this one, but I had to go back to one of my favorites, and that's My Cousin Vinny.
That is
Gosh.
a good movie.
I need to get a list of your movies, Jason. I need to learn these films.
Behind Casino, this is one of my favorite movies that Joe Pesci has been in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is one of Pesci's best. I really can't think of one that's really better than. I mean, I love Goodfellas, but I don't consider that a Joe Pesci vehicle, so I won't even really put that in the category. Yeah, My Cousin Vinny's probably his best lead role.
Yeah. I've never gotten tired of watching that movie at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is pretty funny, and it's got some pretty classical moments.
All right, so what about you, Jeremy?
another one we've mentioned before, The Greatest Showman. I enjoy the storyline. I enjoy the music. Honestly, I've listened to the soundtrack on repeat because my 2-year-old can sing it all the way through. He loves it.
That is
That's
going to be my
great.
honorable mention. I have to agree with that. I can watch that on repeat too.
It's so good, and it's.
Yep.
I feel really bad for the people who don't enjoy the singing voice of Hugh Jackman. Because I heard a lot of bad stuff about Hugh Jackman after his Les Mis performance.
Oh, really?
Yes. A lot of people didn't like his Les Mis performance. And going into this made me very skeptical in seeing it because everyone was talking down about him so much. It actually took me like 3 months to actually see The Greatest Showman after it had first come out. And then
See, I felt the same way about Sweeney Todd that you guys feel about The Greatest Showman.
I can understand that.
Sweeney Todd does have a good soundtrack. I do enjoy the Sweeney Todd soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be the first to admit I have yet to watch The Greatest Showman. I've been meaning to. I just haven't watched it yet.
Really good.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. You know how Hugh Jackman is known for Wolverine? Well, this is the role that Hugh Jackman should be known for other than Wolverine because he just plays the part so damn well.
Okay. What about you, Alistair?
You know, I thought of soundtracks for this question, so it'd be either Bug's Life or Finding Nemo. Because I love the music. I would just have it on the background. I wouldn't even be watching the movie. I would just be listening.
I'm very partial to A Bug's Life.
I guess we should have specified that more, but all right, I can accept that.
I always forget about A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
a fun
realize. I didn't realize
you like ants better. That's why.
I do like ants though.
You like ants better than Bug's Life?
No. I don't. No. I
I'm
like
sorry.
ants.
What was that like?
I didn't say I like ants better. I said I like ants, but
Oh,
I don't like one better
That's
than
okay.
the other.
Yeah, Ants was decent.
Don't lie.
Yeah,
Don't lie to us, Mike.
and Ants is a different film than A Bug's Life. It's a more
It is.
mature
It
version of
is.
A Bug's Life.
You were
So
a fan of the B movie, weren't you?
The Bee Movie.
Oh God, why
no.
are we even bringing that in?
Why? You want to bring up the Emoji Movie too while you're at it? I mean,
I didn't hate
no.
the Emoji Movie.
No.
No, it's not bad. It's just
I didn't hate it.
Why?
Okay, the Bee Movie is garbage. The Emoji Movie was halfway decent.
Oh man. No, I didn't realize I didn't have a Bug's Life in my Blu-ray collection until about a couple months ago, and I saw it at Walmart for Black Friday. It was like $5. I was like, I don't have a Bug's Life, and I should. So I picked it up because
Nice.
it really is one of my favorite Pixar movies, next to Monsters Inc. and Toy Story. So,
yeah, that Monsters Inc. I forgot that. That's a great soundtrack too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, any Pixar soundtrack I could listen to on repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All right. So
next
the
category.
Next topic here is one that I'm waiting to hear what everyone's response to: best cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what are you gonna say? Does it start with an I, Jeremy?
It does start with an I.
I know what he's gonna say. It's mine. I know what he's gonna say.
Inception.
Yes.
Yes.
We have our first alignment.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Jason's sitting there disappointed in all of us.
No, I'm not sitting here disappointed at all.
I
It's
spoiled
so
Jason
good.
with this one the other day. I told him that Inception was going to be mine because Inception is just cinematography like at its best. It's just
so good.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I will not disagree with you on that. I think it was amazing cinematography done. It just wasn't what I came to mind originally when I thought of this topic.
Inception is a movie that needs to be seen by every film student for the next 25 years because that is how you do cinematography. Period. In fact, you know what? I'll go as far as saying, because this was mine's going to be with Inception. I'd say almost any Chris Nolan movie has some of the best cinematography because his cinematographer is Wally Pfister. He also did the Batman movies, and Interstellar. I'm not sure if he did Dunkirk or not, but I mean, just watch his cinematography in any movie he does. It's just
I do want to go back. The most recent viewings of Inception, I've been trying to pick up more on the story, like little things that I missed the first time. But I want to go back and just watch the cinematography. Just pay attention to that for a viewing, because I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah, the thing too is like it's almost the way the camera movement is. Like he's got a small hallway, and I watched the behind the scenes on how they did this, and the hallway was like it was built special for the scene. It wasn't an actual hallway. They took a camera and spun it. They would use the mixture of camera spinning and spinning the room on a track,
right?
And just how well the camera was able to track the movements and be so fluid.
Right.
I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I can't disagree with you guys on Inception, but like I said, when I came up with these topics, this was not my first choice. Mine, I'd have to say, was Avatar.
Yeah.
No,
sure.
that one
I'm
came
excited
in a very
for it, too.
close second for me because it was a beautiful film.
Yeah. When's 2 slated nowadays, Mike? They pushed it back a couple times, right?
I think it's supposed to be next year until it gets moved again 2 more years.
2022.
I mean, Mike, we're talking about James Cameron here. He's pushed back films how many times over the course of his directing career?
I mean, a decent amount. Not everything has been pushed back as much as Avatar, but I think the only reason why I wouldn't put Avatar on the list is because so much of it was shot digitally, and there was so much that was done with the cinematography in the computer. And to me, that's a whole different animal as far as comparing cinematography with other movies, because it's the same thing with the Star Wars prequel trilogy. You can't even give the prequel trilogy too much credit for cinematography because so much was done digitally. Other than Episode 1, that's a hard thing to come up with, because even though it still takes an eye for what goes on, even on the screen with digitally, that's a conflicting argument. Yeah. So.
Hey, to each their own.
Yeah, of course.
It's all subjective.
Oh yeah. Oh, sure. It's in the eye of the
You're gonna
beholder.
keep using that against me, aren't you, Al? It's all subjective. All subjective.
Yeah. What was yours, Alistair? Or were you agreeing with
I
Inception?
know. I definitely. I had Inception written down.
Yeah,
as
the
mine.
three of you guys
Mhm.
all agreed on Inception.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, next category
And
is
to be fair, my honorable mention was Inception.
fair. Next category is you love the movie, but everybody else seems to hate it.
Otherwise, your guilty pleasure.
Oh, I'm gonna cause controversy with this. I'm
I
ready
have
for it. I'm
3
gonna
of them.
wait.
I am going to go first on this one because, like I said, the movies I picked out I had 2 movies for this. They were both cult classics.
Mm-hmm.
So mine was more of, I was starting to wonder, could you really call them guilty pleasures at that point? I had The Lost Boys and Boondock Saints.
Yeah, Boondock Saints is one of those movies that everybody seems to not have much love for. So yeah, I could definitely see that
Really?
one. It's true. I mean, if you look out online and you look at opinions, there's very low opinions of Boondock
Boondock?
Saints.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's very much a cult classic.
I watched Boondock Saints every year on St. Patrick's Day, and that ending scene in the courtroom,
Mhm.
I pretty much quote by heart.
Huh.
Memorable.
I wish Dan was here because the first time I saw Boondock Saints was in his dorm room at Bowling Green.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of it?
No,
I remember liking it. I don't remember much about the story because I haven't watched it again since then, but I'd like to at some point.
it really was. It took me so long to finally watch this movie, and I regret the fact that I didn't watch The Lost Boys, or not The Lost Boys, but Boondock Saints as long as I did,
Mm-hmm.
because I thought the movie was so well done.
Huh.
It's underrated, definitely. I mean, you got Willem Dafoe, you got Norman Reedus in that movie,
This is
and
a stellar cast.
yeah. What did you think of the second movie, Chase?
Okay, I will say I didn't like the second movie as much as the first one. I'll say that right off the bat here, but
Okay.
I really like the second one too.
Second one's still good. And the thing is, the second one's very underappreciated. It came out under the radar. Nobody, I think, really saw it. I saw it in the theater, actually.
No,
And-
a lot of it. I mean, that movie. A lot of people went and saw that in the theater because of how much people enjoyed the first
Well,
movies.
The problem with it is that it wasn't playing in a lot of theaters. It was very limited. I think I had to go to Valley View in order to see it because it was playing nowhere locally for me. And I was surprised because Boondock Saints, even though it was under the
I
radar
think I
cult
caught
classic,
it one of the few times that I saw it over at Regal Cinemas down over by us. I'm like,
yeah, it probably expanded there after it was out a little bit because probably started making some money and they expanded it out. But I saw it like the first weekend it came out and it just, you couldn't find it anywhere, which was a shame because I was looking for it like crazy.
Huh.
all right, so I'm gonna pass this baton not to Mike. I want him to go last.
Oh no, mine's
because
gonna cause controversy. You want me to go last? Trust me.
I want Mike to go last on this. I'm gonna pass this one to Alistair.
Okay. So when I read Guilty Pleasure, I wasn't thinking of something that everybody hates, but one that I find that most people are not quite as willing to watch it on a dime as I am, and it's Schindler's List. I love Schindler's List, and I will watch it anytime. I find that most people, when I talk to them, are like, I have to be in the mood for. They'll say like they have to be in the mood for Schindler's List, or they need to watch it at a certain time.
I
Well,
will
I
get
think
back to you on that later in the podcast. I
It's
will
a-
get back to you
it is
later in the
a-
podcast.
It is a deep movie.
It is a very deep
yeah.
movie. Yeah. And it's a
And
very
it's-
emotional movie, which is why I find that most people, like I said, feel like they need to be like ready for it to
Mhm.
watch it.
I don't think they're
yeah.
ever ready for it though.
Yeah, right.
You know what it is?
no,
It's just that I think the thematic elements are so strong in the movie that just some people just can't handle it emotionally because it's a
Mhm.
movie that you've really got to be emotionally ready for. You got to have yourself ready for that story, and I just don't think
Yeah.
some people can handle it, and I think that's why so many people just don't shy away from it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I
I-
totally
Like I
think
said,
it's-
I will have a
film.
response to you, Alistair, once we get to later in the episode.
Okay.
I know where that's going to be. I know what category that's going to be.
All right, we're gonna go with Jeremy next.
I have 3 of them, but we can always come back to them later. biggest one, one that started on my list was The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
I will come back
okay.
to you on that one because that's coming. I'm glad you said that. Someone finally appreciates that movie. Thank you, Jeremy.
I love that
Thank you.
movie. I completely forgot about that movie, though.
Thank you.
It's so long since I watched it.
Bad things about it, but I think it is a fantastic plot. Yep. It's really good. I mean, the ending is something to be desired. I think the only problem that I have with it is the ending, but the way that they play the whole thing off is grand.
Oh yeah,
I want to watch that movie now.
Can you believe that movie is directed by Michael Bay? It's a Michael Bay film.
I can't believe it's a Michael Bay film. I can't.
I certainly can't. Thanks, Jeremy. I'm gonna have to watch that movie after we're done with this now.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more on that one. But I'm coming back to that, so don't worry. It's coming back. Okay.
All right, Mike. Let's hear your controversial choices.
Okay, I have two choices.
Actually, no. Before that, Jeremy, what were the other two?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie does have a lot of hate.
That was an honorable mention for me.
Because I think as much as Michael Cera has kind of a stiff posture throughout most of the movie, I think the entire movie is a great job of portraying what it's supposed to as like a video, like looking at everything in the terms of a video game.
Exactly.
Just beating your opponent, getting their coins from them, kind of thing.
Yep.
And the chemistry, it doesn't look like it works between him and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, but it does.
By the time you get to the end, it does. Yeah.
Next time, I'll be deadly serious next time.
Yes. And then the third one gets a lot of hate because it didn't follow the book. It's one of those book adaptation to film. Ender's Game.
Oh yeah. I wish they'd made it longer so they could show more.
If it was longer, it would have been damn near perfect.
Yeah.
Remind me of Ender's Game. I'm drawing a blank real quick.
Ender's Game is where a child is brought in to be like this military strategic person for the.
Oh, okay. I remember
Harrison Ford was in it.
That movie.
I kid you not. The way that they portrayed it in the movie was exactly how I portrayed it in my head as I was reading the book.
Nice.
Everything felt so like this exact to me.
Yeah. Have you read Ender's Shadow? The sequel
I have
book?
not. I want to,
not.
but I have not.
There was supposed to be a sequel.
I do have one more honorable mention I do want to mention here. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I was pissed off that didn't get a sequel with those two.
I've read all three of the books, and I'm so mad they never did sequels to them.
Did you ever see the foreign versions of of that one? The girl that plays her, the girl that plays her is the one that played in Prometheus.
Yep.
I was bummed that they did a sequel finally, but they changed who played her, and they ruined it. They ruined it.
Yeah. So, Mike, let's hear your controversy.
Okay, the first one I love, and everybody seems to hate it. The other one I like, and everybody hates it. So let's not go with love on the second one.
Maybe you'll find some fans here.
But the second one's going to be controversial, so we'll get to that one in a minute. But the first one is Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
I haven't seen it. Darn.
I like Tokyo Drift, and I'll tell you why. Because it's the last grounded Fast and Furious they made. It's about the racing. It's all based in reality. Whereas after this movie, they started going like, oh, now everybody's got to be spies and be bank heists. Now, I like the Fast and Furious sequels, but they're nothing but popcorn fun at this rate. They're no longer about the street racing where the series started.
They became Michael Bay films.
In a way, they did.
But I will agree that, it did keep true to what they were originally supposed to be, and that was about the racing. That was probably the weakest of the original three, in my opinion.
You think so?
I thought it was the weakest of the three.
Wait. You think Too Fast, Too Furious is better than Tokyo Drift?
I thought it was better.
Oh. Yeah.
I guess I'm indifferent to the Fast and the Furious films. I don't have a favorite. It all just kind of seems the same to me.
It's one of those series that you either like it or you hate it. It's
like Transformers.
I feel like Fast
In
and
a
the
way.
Furious is an essay that you wrote like at the last minute, just copy pasting everything from the next movie into the next movie. Like that's what I
Thank
feel
you,
like.
Kendall.
To change the setting.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Thank you,
All right,
Kendall.
Mike.
Thank you, Kendall. We're both in agreement there.
All
That
right,
wasn't
Mike.
controversial. I'm really interested to hear what this next one is.
Let's hear it. He's ashamed of himself right
No.
now.
Star Trek
I
the
can
motion
see it.
picture.
No. Although you might be wishing that I did say it after I say this one. Okay, I like it because I'll give you a hint because it's comic booky and it's cotton candy-ish and it's just fun in a comedic sort of poke fun kind of way.
I swear to God, if you end up saying it's Batman and Robin, I'm getting out of here.
It is Batman and Robin.
Bye.
It is Batman and Robin. It
Oh
is
my gosh,
Batman
he
and Robin.
actually left. He actually left. I never thought he would do it.
No, it is Batman and Robin, and I'm gonna explain why. I'm gonna make a case for Batman and Robin. Everybody always says that, oh, it's just nothing, but it's not Batman, it's not this and that. But people miss the point. It's comic booky. It's supposed to be. The movie was made this way on purpose.
comic booky, but it is the worst.
Wait.
Worst Batman film I have ever seen.
Wait. Now, wait a minute. If you read the comic books, the actual comic books, okay, the ones for kids.
Mike's getting riled up, Jason.
The movie
You're
was
riling
made.
Mike.
The movie was made. Joel Schumacher will tell you this in the audio commentary. The movie was made to sell toys. It was made to sell toys.
And it did.
Schwarzenegger plays Mr. Freeze very well. He does. He plays Freeze well in a comic book way. There's Freeze. There's Freeze in a serious way, like Gotham, and then there's comic booky Schwarzenegger. Okay. There are some cheesy elements and there's some cringeworthy things. Don't get me wrong. I will not defend it like it's a fantastic movie because it's not. But it does not deserve all of the absolute hate that it gets. It doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's fair.
It's like the movie is a joke and it knows it and it plays off of that very
exactly. And that's what I like about it because we started with the Burton movies. They were serious. Batman Returns got a little too dark. Audiences didn't like that, so they went in the direction of Batman Forever, where things started lightening up. And then, we got to we want to sell toys aspect, and that was a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. But to say the movie is like the worst thing ever or belongs on a worst of movie of all time list, no, I
don't think so. I think that some of the puns that Arnold Schwarzenegger delivers are some of the best puns in.
Yeah. I mean, he has some good lines.
A freeze is coming.
That's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bane is butchered. Bane is by far butchered here.
Bane is butchered. I thought Poison Ivy was not well done in this movie.
Uma Thurman doesn't do a bad job. She does not do a horrible job.
She doesn't do a bad job, but still, you can't work with shit and turn it into gold.
Okay, no. A shit comic book movie is Green Lantern. That's a shit comic book movie.
No, we won't talk about that. We will not talk about that.
I'm just saying, you want to say shit.
No, we got to bring this up. Now we actually have to make that decision, Jason. Is Green Lantern better or worse than Batman and Robin?
Oh, by far, Green Lantern is worse.
See, there it is.
Thank you.
Green Lantern is
so we can't say it. There it is. We're done. We're past it.
You just said it. Yep. You just said it. Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy.
But that's not even a debate on that one.
Hey, it's not the category love it, but everybody hates it for nothing. I mean, everybody hates it, but you will find people like me that care for it. Kendall was one of them. I mean, it's like I said, it's not a great Batman film, but if you like the comic books, the actual comic books, it works. It works. Everybody wants to look back at the Nolan versus being an example of Batman. Okay,
I've read the comics too. I still just not a fan of this film at all.
To each their own.
Yeah,
It's subjective.
to quote Jerry, it's subjective.
Jeremy's gonna be wishing.
Welcome to Lights, Camera, Action Review. It's subjective.
That's a new slogan. We're subjective.
We're subjective.
Oh gosh.
All right. Now, after that, let's get to the next topic here. Movie you thought should have gotten more praise.
Can I go first on this one?
Yep.
Sure.
I'm going to say Silence, which had some real great actors. It had Adam Driver with Andrew Garfield, which Garfield is actually a really good actor, despite all the hate he gets for some of his Spider-Man films.
Yeah, he's
a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
So that they play together as two Jesuit monks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Liam Neeson is also in the film as their mentor.
Really?
I need to see this.
Yeah, I gotta mark.
I'm gonna have to as well.
I'm marking
It's
this
really
down
good.
right now.
It's really good, and I have no idea why it didn't get more hype than it did. But it's also pretty it's a pretty sombering film. I don't think there's a soundtrack, which might be why it's called Silence. But
There's no music at all.
I don't think so, if I remember correctly.
Well, that's impressive. I gotta give credit for that.
But yeah, check it out.
I will. I just wrote that down. I'm gonna look that up.
It's a great film. It's very serious. Definitely a thought-provoking film.
Okay.
Interesting. I like the cast, so I definitely give it a watch just for that alone.
All right. So, Mike, let's go to you.
More praise. Number one is The Island, Jeremy. That movie deserves a lot more praise than what it gets. I couldn't believe where the Rotten Tomato score is and that this movie bombed at the box office because this movie just it works. I mean, the sci-fi at the beginning elements work so well, and then you go from a sci-fi into a mystery into an action film. And it's not often where a movie can pull off those three things in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And work from beginning to end. But this movie just works so well. And I don't know where the critics' problem with it is because you have great performances from everybody. This movie, I was already a big Ewan McGregor fan because of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that's what drew me to this movie to begin with. And of course, Scarlett Johansson, because,
it's Scarlett Johansson.
Right. And I still think that this is the movie she's looked the best in. So just the sci-fi elements work so well, and I love the set pieces at the beginning too. The bunker looks so futuristic, and when they finally get to the outside world into the desert, I was just kind of like, well, we went from being a movie that looks like takes place in the year 2100 to the year 2000. But the other one I got to mention is Jurassic Park 2 and 3. The Lost World got knocked a little bit, and don't get me wrong, Jurassic Park is far superior to all of them. Don't get me wrong, but the Lost World works, I think, in a lot of ways because it kind of took the series in a little bit of a darker direction. Jeff Goldblum's character took a complete 180 from the first film, and I liked what he did with it. I liked how serious that he was, but he still had his little bit of humor moments from the first film kind of thrown in there. This movie also gave you Julianne Moore, which at that time she was just kind of coming into the circle of acting, and her career's blossomed since this. I think it deserves a lot more praise than what it got. And Jurassic Park 3, it's shorter. It's only an hour and a half movie, but it works as a monster film, as a monster chase film. Sure. And it still has a lot of the good Jurassic Park elements that we had from the first two. I just think people got bothered by it felt more like a monster movie that was really short. And that's fine, but I think those movies definitely get knocked too much just because the first movie is so superior.
Okay. No, I can agree with you on that.
I would take 2 and 3 over the new ones. Let's put it that way.
Right.
You know what?
Yes, Jeremy.
I think the reason that The Island did not do so well is because it came out right after Batman Begins did.
What came after Batman Begins?
The Island.
Oh.
People used up their ticket money for the month.
Yeah, I think Begins came out like in June, and that came out in July. They're like
it did.
2 apart. Yeah, that's why. Yep. It got buried.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
So for me, I had 3 different movies for this category. One of them is going back to Boondock Saints.
Okay.
I had Big Trouble in Little China.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought of that one.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
think that movie should get a lot more praise than it actually did.
It didn't get praise.
I thought it deserved more than it got.
Okay.
And then this one is more speaking of the fact, like, I'm a big martial arts film fan.
Mhm.
I went with Bloodsport
Bloodsport.
with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, okay. God, I haven't seen that movie in ages.
That movie came out in '88.
Yeah, I probably saw that when I was like 10. 10 or 12. I don't know. It's been too long. I don't even remember.
I've watched that movie a couple of times since Shutdown, and it just amazed me still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
At just how athletic some of these people are, and how well versed in martial arts that these guys are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of like Van Damme doesn't he doesn't get enough credit. Really, he's kind of an
good
underrated.
choice, Kendall.
Kendall had a really good choice there. Yeah, Secret Window with Johnny Depp.
I just watched that a couple months ago.
Fantastic film.
Again, yeah, the ending shocked me when I saw it the first time. Mm-hmm. Fully agree.
That
All
has
right.
a similar ending to I'd say comparable ending shock value as in Shutter Island did.
That's a good movie too.
Yeah.
Also a really good movie.
Another shocking ending as well.
All right, Jeremy.
A movie I thought should have gotten more praise was Alien 3. I thought the third Alien movie in the franchise was far better than people gave it credit for. It did. The problem that I think that it fails with is that it lost a lot of its supporting characters from the second movie.
Yeah,
Newt
it made a lot of people angry.
and Hicks, which was unfortunate. But it was more of they had to get into a new storyline with it. And I thought Alien 3 did a fantastic job of making everyone fearful of the aliens again.
Well, it was in the shadow of Aliens, which, that's a phenomenal film. So I think that also didn't help it very much. And but if you watch, there's 2 cuts of Alien 3 out there. The director's cut is far superior. And I recommend if anybody dislikes Alien 3, watch the director's cut, and I think your opinion will change a little bit.
Okay. I'll actually have to see that. I haven't seen the director's cut. I enjoyed the regular film.
The regular film was still good, yeah.
But, I mean, it definitely much, much better than Alien Resurrection.
The movie that basically killed the Alien franchise?
Until Alien versus Predator, yeah.
The other movies that almost killed the Alien franchise? I don't know where that's going now.
But I thought that
I didn't mind Alien vs. Predator.
The first one was okay. I didn't mind the first one. The second one was, yeah.
It was a little too much. They took some dark turns and twists with it, with killing the pregnant ladies in the hospital sort of thing.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that was a little much.
That one was a little much. And another thing with that movie, I couldn't get past of how dark it was in terms of lighting.
You couldn't see anything.
You couldn't see the movie because of how dark it was. It's like you turned your brightness down to 0 and you're watching an alien film.
You would swear to God that the movie was direct to video because it has any notable cast members. It was filmed by 2 newbie directors. The lighting is crap. And the only time lighting is crap in a movie like this is when it's a B movie and they're trying to hide the shitty effects. Yeah. And that's what I felt like they were doing here. They were saving money on the effects, so they just made everything dark.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I thought Sigourney Weaver's performance in Alien 3 was superb.
It was very good, very very good.
So, if you don't like Alien 3, please give it another watch. I beg of you.
I haven't watched any of those films. I'll have to watch the series.
It is a much darker sci-fi like Alien. If you're talking Terminator as sci-fi horror, you're turning it up to the max with Alien.
Yeah.
So I saw there was one recently that was like a prequel to it.
Prometheus.
Yes,
Prometheus,
I saw. So I
yeah.
did see Prometheus.
I'm kind of like indifferent on the Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I think it was.
Huh.
I liked Covenant better than Prometheus because it
Covenant
felt
was
more
better.
alien. Yeah.
Prometheus didn't feel enough like an Alien movie.
No, it felt like they were going more the religious route of everything. And although it was intriguing to what they were trying to do, it just didn't work in the end. It was too confusing, and it just made the whole alien thing just convoluted.
All the Alien movies could be on repeat for Kendall.
Well, I mean,
right.
I could see that, especially Alien 1 and 2 for sure, and even 3. But after Alien 1 through 3, you're pretty much
I would stop there.
yeah. AVP is good for what it is, but after at least those 4, forget it.
All right.
Did everybody go on that one?
Yep.
Okay.
So let's get to our favorite films of all time.
Okay, I got 5.
This one was, we were expecting to have anywhere between 3 and 5 roughly.
I got all 5.
I had 5 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have 1.
Oh.
Oh, wow, really? Just one?
No, I do have a couple.
It's gonna be Incredible Hulk, isn't it?
No, I was gonna say Lord of the Rings 1, Lord of the Rings 2.
It's going to
Lord of
be
the Rings 3.
not just any movie, a specific moment in Return of the King.
Oh.
Okay.
When Frodo puts his hand on the wall and the sputters.
And
Wow.
there we have it.
Sticky.
Well, he did it. He did it, ladies and gentlemen. It took
That's
most
what I
of
want
the
to put on a
podcast.
repeat.
He did. Yeah.
All right. So who wants to start this off?
I'm pretty confident in my top 5. Starting from the bottom, I'm gonna have to go with Jumanji with Robin Williams
Okay.
because of its original concept of
Good film.
and plotline, and the performance by Robin Williams was phenomenal. You can't even the reboots don't do it justice. They took it a different direction, but the magic that was captured in that film was spectacular.
I want to bring up one note before you continue. Robin Williams, real quick. Did you ever see 1 Hour Photo?
Yes, I did.
Mhm.
I saw that. Completely different direction for Robin Williams as an actor.
He was
But
fantastic in that.
Great performance.
And we're talking about Robin Williams films. I'll go after you, Jeremy, because I got a Robin Williams-esque style film in here.
Okay.
Okay. Next coming up is Liar Liar with Jim Carrey.
Really?
I saw that recently.
Okay.
That's a
funny
great
film.
movie, though. That's a great.
It
film.
is. It's fantastic. The humor is great, and the fact that Jim Carrey plays off himself the entire movie.
Yep, you're right.
After that, I'm gonna put Forrest Gump at number 3.
Forrest Gump's good.
Okay.
Forrest
Let's
Gump.
hear it, Jeremy. Let's hear the accent.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
You never
Um,
know what you're going
Forrest
to
Forrest Gump holds a special place in my heart because I used to watch that on weekends as a kid with my grandparents.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was enough to keep me entertained, but not too much to where it was inappropriate like the other movies they would show me. Like The Running Man and the Terminator franchise. But getting past that, second place, Face Off.
Oh, okay.
That's a great film.
Because Travolta and Nicolas Cage acting as one another is superb.
They do play off each other really well.
Mm-hmm. And my first in all of moviedom has to go to Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
I was
David at his
so
best.
close to adding that to my list.
Yeah,
It is a perfect
it's really
movie.
good. Yeah.
I agree. That is a great film.
Mhm.
All right, let's go with you, Alistair.
Mine'll be quick. I'm going to give my third place spot to what I think Dan would pick as his number one. I might be wrong, Dan. Forgive me if I am. The Matrix, and not the trilogy, just the first movie.
Fair. That's fair.
Second place goes to the all-time, named by the Humane Association in 2016, the all-time best family film, Old Yeller. And then first place
Classic.
for me, despite the fact that we've talked through these movies in the past, is The Two Towers.
Yeah, I remember you saying when we talked about Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. Yeah, you did say that it was probably one of your all-time favorites. So yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah.
So those are my three.
Okay.
All right, so for me, it's going to be so hard to really put this in any particular order. So I'm just going to list off the movies that I have here.
Okay.
So the first one I have on my list is The Iron Giant.
I love that. Yeah,
that is
that's
a good movie though.
That
That's
is
a
a good
really
movie,
good movie.
Jason.
Mhm.
I forgot
It was
about that.
probably one. That is probably my most favorite animated movie of all time.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's a good one.
That's a good one.
Next one is going to continue the Robin Williams theme in this, and Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, him and Matt Damon.
Yep.
They're so good.
Isn't Affleck in that movie too?
Is
I think he appears in that movie.
Yes, yeah. Actually, he's his
Yeah.
friend. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
right.
The next one I have on here is going back to what you had said prior, Alistair, Schindler's List.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Jason.
Schindler's List
Props.
is one of my all-time favorite movies and will never be replaced in
Yeah.
that list.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, which is more of a surprise to me that how much I thoroughly enjoyed this movie and put this on my list, is going to be Brian's Song.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've read the
yeah.
book but not seen the movie. Huh.
The movie's very faithful to the book. From
Cool.
what I've been
Yeah,
told.
it really is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like that. Yeah.
I know what number one is.
My number, what's that, Mike?
Batman and Robin.
Always.
Hooah! Al Pacino.
Yep. My favorite movie of all time is Scent of a Woman. That one will be the number one on my list.
I've been wanting to watch that because when you brought that up, I kind of almost forgot about it a little bit, and I just got done watching what was it, Carlito's Way with
Yeah.
Pacino, and that made me want to watch Son of a Woman, so got me in the mood to do that.
This was so far and beyond the best movie I had ever seen in my lifetime. I don't know if any movie is ever going to come close to it.
That's fair. That's fair. Pacino.
It is easily my favorite Al Pacino film.
Huh.
I think it definitely is one of Pacino's, if not his best performance.
And the casting on here is amazing. I mean, Al Pacino, you've got Chris O'Donnell, Gabrielle Anwar. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Burn Notice.
Yeah, with what's his name? I forget his name. Jeffrey Donovan.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
And their list just goes on and on. I could not find any fault in this movie whatsoever.
That's what a favorite movie is really all about. When you watch it, and it's like you can see some mistakes yourself, but you never want to admit them.
Yeah.
Which is what my favorite movies are. So anyway,
Is it just Star Wars all in a row?
you'll see. That would not be fair. That would not be fair.
Well,
But
he is
then
the host. He can pretty much do what he wants at this point.
Then I would have to rank them all, and I don't want to do that. I don't really want to do that. I have a favorite one, but I don't want to do that. No. Mm-mm.
All right, Mike, let's hear it.
Okay, so I have 5. I have a tie for 5. The tie for 5 goes to Serenity, the Firefly movie, / Star Trek Into Darkness. Tie for 5.
Okay.
Interesting tie.
Number 4, The Greatest Showman. Number 3, The Island. I love The Island, man. I tell you, it's hard for me to forget about that movie. Number 2, Good old Jurassic Park.
Nice.
Because I will always remember as Jurassic Park being the movie that made me fall in love with movies. So that holds a special
cool.
place in my heart.
That's
Always
awesome,
will.
Mike.
And then of course number one is just Star Wars. Period. Just all Star Wars.
Just
all
all
Star
things
Wars.
Star Wars.
Because you know what? Because when it comes down to it, yeah, does Star Wars have faults? Sure. But am I going to sit here and admit it? No. I won't even admit Jurassic Park's got faults because that movie means too much to me. I won't even do it with Jurassic Park.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Good
Yeah,
lists,
we got
guys.
some interesting choices here, guys.
Yeah, you know what's kind of funny too? That I don't think any of our fives matched up at all.
No.
They were all different.
I'm going to give a special mention though. Like I think a close coming up is Braveheart.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great film.
Not because of like I know it's got its historical inaccuracies, but the soundtrack of the movie
Yeah.
is fantastic.
Yeah, I've decided that when my boys are 5, it's the right time to see Mel Gibson see if he's pulled out. So.
I gotta say, Mel Gibson does not get enough credit. I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and I just feel like that after
he
his
is.
big controversy, he's just been forgotten about, and it's sad because he truly is great, and he's done a lot of classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any special mentions by you guys? Any movies you think you just forgotten off the bat that just want to jump in?
Oh,
I
I would have to go with Saving Private Ryan as my honorable mention here. So, no, it's the tie actually between that and The Green Mile.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I was bringing this up with my wife, and she goes, "You know, with that one and the Green Mile," and I go, "Don't do this to me. I'm gonna cry right here."
Oh.
Honorable mentions for me would be Last Samurai, Tom Cruise,
Great movie.
Of Mice and Men,
Mhm.
Okay.
and the third, I had it, I lost it.
The Lion King.
Day After Tomorrow. No, not The Day After Tomorrow. No, what's the one with Tom Cruise and
War of the Worlds.
no,
That's a good movie though too.
it's kind of like Groundhog's Day but sci-fi.
Oh, Live, Die, Repeat, or something.
Yeah. Tomorrow's in the title. Oh.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Shoot.
Something.
Yeah. Wow. I can't remember that. Wow.
I think it is Day After Tomorrow.
Is it Day After Tomorrow?
No,
No.
Day After Tomorrow is the apocalypse one where.
Oh, that's
Dylan
right.
Hall and Dennis Quaid.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Can't remember.
anyways.
Live, Die, Repeat though. I think is what the title got changed to though. I think.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So
Signs. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a really good
that is a good Mel Gibson movie, and that doesn't get enough credit either.
Mhm.
It unfortunately Shyamalan followed that up with Lady in the Water.
Hmm.
We won't get into that movie. Yeah. Honorable mentions. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. I have a lot of movies running through my mind right now.
I mean, if we're gonna go into Shyamalan movies, Mike, we could always talk about another
Don't you
one that
say
should be
it.
on another list here. Sixth Sense.
I was gonna put The Village on that worst list, and I should have.
Oh, I was saying that should be on a lot of our lists for honorable mentions for
I think-
favorite.
I think though it comes into terms of a list of movies that had a great leading up to it, but a bad climax and ending.
Sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember The Village when it was promoted. It looked like it was going to be interesting. It was going to be a big twist. There was something really mysterious going on, and the payoff was just crap.
Yeah.
Total and utter crap.
Hmm.
Shyamalan's kind of hit or miss sometimes. You don't really
Mhm.
know what to expect from him. And I just saw, I think, a trailer for a new one he's got coming out during the Super Bowl last night. It looks interesting, and the only reason why I give it a chance is because it's based off a book, so it's not something originally from his mind. So if he's following the source material, it means he's not going to go off on some kind of strange ending unless the book has one.
Mhm.
The Village,
But-
I'll agree with Kendall. The Village was kind of boring. It gave you that little bit of tension, but that tension was also so dry that it didn't make the ending feel worth it. in the
I
end.
think the only shocking part of it was when Adrian Brody killed
Killed somebody, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking, and I was like, "Oh, is the movie going to do something pretty shocking here now? Is this where it's going to pick up?" No, no. It just after that, I was just like, "Yeah, we're going to stay on this just even level."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That movie's just never want to watch it again. But yeah, so that was a pretty interesting thing. We had a little bit of controversy, a little bit of
fun, guys.
heated discussions, which I always like to have on some of these. That's always good. Sure the people.
So I actually
also
want
do.
to mention something here, Mike. Has anyone ever watched Primal Fear?
Can't say that I have.
Oh.
It is a movie that I would have to say could easily. I just thought about this now, and I'm like, this could place anywhere in my top 5 other than the number 1. And I just thought about it now. It was Edward Norton's real acting debut.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen this movie, I urge you guys to give it a watch at least once and let me know what you think, because I want to see what your guys' reaction to the ending of this movie and how much it messed with your head.
Okay. Let me
How
mark
much did
that one
Shutter
down,
Island
too.
mess with your guys' head as well as Inception?
Oh. Yeah, Shutter Island messed with my head. I'll tell you that. But that's one movie I can watch, though. Even with the ending, I could still watch it because it's so well shot. It is, to be honest, I think it's an underrated Scorsese movie. For sure.
All right, so
we've talked about what we wanted to do next, and Jeremy,
we've got our Saw retrospective that me and you are currently doing.
we're finishing that up. We got 3 episodes left of that to do all 8.
Mandalorian.
And then we've got the Matrix retrospective.
Thank you, Kendall.
We do
Kendall. Thank you, Kendall.
Thank you, Kendall. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Jeremy also talked about doing Jurassic Park, which I think has to be done because it's. I mean, come on, it's JP. I mean, you got to do JP.
That would be fun to
So
watch that again.
here's the question then: are we gonna just do the Jurassic Parks, or are we including Jurassic World in that?
No, I think what we should do is we done 2 episodes, maybe do 1 through 3, and then do 4 and 5, because they kind of, even though they're all 1 and 3 feel more like themselves to 4 and 5. But we probably should maybe vote on what we want to do next, because I know Jurassic Park, we've talked about Matrix. And I know we got to do Mandalorian as well. So what do you guys feel like doing?
I really think we should do the Matrix.
I'd love to do the
One for the Matrix.
I think we should
Dan,
wait until we hear from Dan on that one.
Dan will say Matrix all day.
Yeah.
Well, I know he'll say that, but we also.
But you're right. We should let the man speak for himself.
Yeah. I think what we'll do is we'll go into Discord. We'll kind of put it up for a vote, and then we'll see where everybody's at, and then we'll just go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
But guaranteed it'll be either Jurassic Park or The Matrix next for a retrospective. So those will both be fun regardless. And I know The Matrix is going to be a very interesting topic, a lot to talk about with The Matrix, especially with its upcoming sequel that I think we're all curious to see where that's going to go.
Yeah.
I heard no such things.
And it looks like the title is nearly confirmed now. We actually have a title.
Okay.
The Matrix Resurrections.
Oh boy. Is this a prequel or a sequel?
It's a sequel.
Oh boy.
Neo and Trinity are back.
There will be no peace.
I'm very skeptical about that.
I am too, actually.
I question why Trinity is back.
Well, Neo makes sense because there was a lot of references to the One being many versions of the One, so it kind of would make sense for him. For her, though,
I mean, she was
skewered, right?
They're going to come back to cyborgs. It's going to cross over into Terminator territory.
Oh,
it's gonna be
no. Skynet was behind the Matrix. Skynet was behind the Matrix. No.
The thing that angers me though is that they did not ask Lawrence Fishburne to come back, and which means no Morpheus, which I don't
Why
really
would
know
they
why.
not
No.
ask Lawrence
I don't know.
Fishburne to come back?
I don't know. They're bringing in some new cast
gap.
members.
Yeah.
The only
Morpheus
good news
was such
here.
a key part of that trilogy.
The only good news here is that not both Wazowskis, but the one Wazowski wrote and directed it, so therefore it's still from the original material. It's not some other person coming in and doing their own thing. It's staying
Mhm.
true to who did it already. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm kind of confident of what we're going to get, because they said they only made it because they had a good story that was going to work. And Keanu Reeves said he only did it because the script worked. So I'm confident in that.
Huh.
But that'll be a topic for another time.
Yeah.
Sure. Mhm.
So
Cool.
thank you, everyone, and thank everybody for watching. And make sure to listen to the episode tomorrow if you missed it. It'll be on all of our streaming platforms. And then tomorrow night, Jason and I will be back with the Saw retrospective for 3 and 4, and then all of us will be back
Let's
for either
expect that one
AP or
to
Matrix.
we expect that one to be a late night episode, everyone.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Fits the horror genre, late night. Spend late night with us. So thanks, guys, for being here, and thank you all for listening.
That's a
Okay.
wrap.
Cut.
Cut and
Oh,
print.
that's right. No, I
Wow.
got it wrong.
That was butchered to all
That
hell.
was no. The thing is, Al had it, and then both Jason and I went with the second part right away.
Okay, what we should do is let's finish this
There
up.
it is.
Each person gets a word. Say a word.
That's
Wrap.
wrap.
Cut. No, jeez.
It's sticky.
We can say it in Yoda speak. A wrap. That is.
Okay, I'm gonna give this week's to Jeremy and me. He can do that's a wrap, and I'm gonna do cut and print, and you guys will get the next episode.
That's subjective.
Can we practice in between, Jason?
No.
Wow.
All right,
All right, Jeremy.
that's a wrap.
Cut and